Um, so at the moment, all of your group except for Ivy, your cleric, have headed off, and after some interesting negotiation of hallways and connecting rooms and setting off a series of explosions, both with a backpack and a raccoon's foot, made it through into what appears to be according to the system announcement, the boss fight room. So when you entered there, and Rick decided to poke some statues with his stick, he brought to life two quite large animated armors that stepped off their pedestals and were ominously standing over the top of him. And out of one of those armors, a swarm of spiders erupted as it moved and disappeared into the webbing that still remains in the room. The quite a fair amount of webbing that still remains that was not burnt away by those of you who walked through with your torches. You burnt away some sections where you could reach, but there's still a lot of wispy spider webs in there that they've now disappeared into. Ivy was left in the care of Mort, the Bobka who was taking care of the safe room, and introduced himself and gave himself gave you guys a bit of an outline of what he can and can't do, and what his role is in the in managing his little section of the fall, and his role as basically an indentured slave for the Boreant Corporation that is on his final tour of duty. He is crossing his rather large, oversized Care Bear paws over, and that you guys will make it through far enough that his indentured servitude will be over. But he was certainly not a fan of the corporation, not a fan of the fall or the way that they repurposed planets and took all of the basically harvested the people, places, and produce to feed an intergalactic corporation's greed. You left after establishing a bit of a rapport with Mort. You left Ivy in his care in a sleeping arrangement that is there available to all of you in that safe room. And he was, as best you could see, he was taking really good care of her. He was concerned about her welfare, and he was certainly interested in making sure that she was okay as you were all leaving and found yourselves then ultimately in the boss fight room. So as we resume, the only one who has taken any damage so far is Alia, who had 3 points of damage from the explosion. Just as a quick reminder, who just took over my friggin' screen? You're not supposed to be able to resize my screen. I don't know who that was, but stop fucking around my foundry. And I saw the message, we're all going to fucking die from Rick. There was a greater or less amount of amount of rapport and trust that was built up through some of you with Mort. Rick was the one who was either getting whiplash or seemed to be giving Mort the most whiplash as he went back and forth from accepting, or not accepting, but appreciating some of the information that was being provided, all the way through to extreme frustration, sometimes in the same sentence, at a bit of a bewildered, but also surely by the time he left, slightly intoxicated Care Bear, who was drinking pints of vodka as you departed. But he seems to be able to handle his liquor. So that's where we've started off. The initiative order, for those who do like to keep track of it, is Zach, then Rick, then the Suits, then Alia, the Spiders, and Fokionis. But I will let you know when those of you who are in combat. I'll let you know when you're up and on deck. But first off, where we start is after the trauma that was caused by witnessing two or more, but two especially little green creatures that Maud identified as goblins, be absolutely skewered and shattered by Alia, her trusty service animal. Ivy cradling.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The remnants of one of them in her hands just appeared to enter into a broken brain, catatonic state that led to her being carried into the safe room and essentially unresponsive, put to bed to hopefully sleep off and regain some sort of composure and recovery from what had affected her. So, Ivy, from where you were, you wake up in what it seems to be a very clean, sparkling, but also sparse location. You're it's essentially like a backpacker accommodation if it got crossed with a hospital and kept clean and tidy. So there's just neat racks of beds that are all neatly made apart from the one you are in. There appears to be about 10 of them from what you can see. It's, like I say, it's clean, antiseptic smelling. It's comfortably air conditioned. Please stop messing around with my foundry and zooming in on Ivy. More, let me manage that, please. Whoever's
Okay.
stuffing around with that.
Okay.
I
don't know what you've
why.
changed in settings, but you've done something because apparently I can control your camera now.
Oh, I think what's happened is it's long overdue for an update, Foundry, and I've been holding off until we get out of this level in case it breaks anything. And I haven't touched any settings, but I think some of the apps that need to be updated have granted permissions where there probably shouldn't be any. But
I
all right,
have all the power.
yeah, slightly distracting watching that resize out of the corner of my eye. So you've come to you've recovered from the physical injuries that you'd suffered, and you know the pain to your body from the spells and the energy that was coursing through you, but you're a little bit fuzzy on your recollection from one moment holding the remnants of a green creature in your hands to now you vaguely remember something about being carried, and then there was maybe a giant golden teddy bear, but obviously that can't be right. That laying you down, and then you recall vaguely like a cool cloth being placed over your eyes, and then you have crashed out. So you've been asleep for around you've had a long rest, so you've gotten a good 8 hours sleep in, hopefully recovered from what ailed you. So, what would you like to do, having woken in this strange-ish environment with some vague recollections?
Is there anything actually around me other than what you described, or is it just the room? Is there
No,
there any
there's
trace of a giant yellow bed?
there is the beds, and a shimmering doorway is kind of like an opaque look to it. You can see kind of blurry things through it, but it's not clear. But no, what's clearly visible to you around you is that sterile sleeping environment with, if you count them, there's 9 neatly made beds, and then the one you're asleep in, which is directly beside the doorway to the left.
Ivy's gonna roll over and then tuck her head underneath her pillow.
Okay. While Ivy is dealing with her own issues here, as this is happening and she's got her head under her pillow, the rest of you have got a couple of pissed off suits of armor that have lumbered to life, and Zach, having seen that happen, having seen the armors expand and grow when Rick poked them with his stick, what would you like to do?
I'd like to cast Firebolt at one of them.
Which one? The
one,
lower or the higher?
The lower one.
Yep.
Closest to everyone.
Yep.
Great. I roll a 10 to hit. 10
does not hit. So that fire just brushes off and slams into the stonework behind it. Had no effect.
That was useful. Nice work. All right. Then I do nothing else.
All right. You're gonna hold your position.
Yep.
All right. And Rick, you're in between the two of these. What would you like to do? And you've got your bow staff in your hands because you were using that to poke.
Cool. I can't see anything, so what we're gonna do is update D&D Beyond a little bit because Jay didn't do that in the week off. Don't judge me.
That's all right. I brought through what was in there.
All good. I'm going to go ahead and I don't know. I can't. Could I move the map now, Spar? Do I have your permission to look at the
yeah?
Move
area? The map. Go on.
Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, move.
Much appreciated. Oh, okay. I forgot there were 2 of them. Oh.
Yep, you're in between 2 suits of armor that have lumbered to life.
Fucking spiders.
And the spiders have at this point disappeared from view.
Somehow that's worse. That's worse than being able to see them. I'm more worried about the spiders now. Oh no. God damn it. Okay, I guess I will just try and... Do I want to hit one of them? This is a weirdly difficult decision. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up my longsword, and these aren't living beings, so whackety whack.
Yep.
Push
And
these fuckers back.
which one are you?
The one on the left. The one on Rick's left, the bottom
Yep, bottom one. Yep.
Yep.
No, they aren't living. Have you tried talking to them?
We gonna get... Okay. You know what? How far away is Zachary? Maybe I can kill him before they rip my head off.
He's about 20 feet away from you. I can tell you exactly if you really want to know, but I think you can too.
Look, I don't care if I die as
Zachary's
long as Zachary doesn't live.
He's about 10, 15 feet from you. That seems really harsh. The pacifist is now looking to take out his teammate.
He gets more about goblins than me.
Oh, trust me, Rick does not refer to Zachary as teammate. So I will attack the one on the left with my long sword. Oh, that is going to be a grand total of 13.
That longsword just skitters off the armor the same as the fireball did, seeming to have no effect.
That gives Jade a lot more information. It gives Rick nothing, though. So Rick will proceed to...
Dodge action.
I'm trying to figure out if I could take disarming attack literally. But I don't think I'm going to get away with that. Are they holding
No.
weapons, Spar?
No, no weapons
They're not?
visible at this point.
So is it safe for Rick to assume they're probably going to be like using their fists?
From what he can see at the moment, that would be a safe assumption for Rick.
So would you call his fists his weapons?
He's kick puncher.
And do I need to
No.
finish my line of thinking?
No, you can't rip the arms off the suit of armor. If that's what you're talking about, disarming
What if he
them
rides
does
around
not
like a
mean
pogo stick?
No.
Okay, DM, I will accept this. I will accept this. I would like to point out that we did just realize that 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, but you know what? We're going to ignore that correct answer and instead just attack 2 more times.
Sounds good.
I'm,
How about it?
I'm salty tonight for some reason. 18. Does an 18 hit?
An 18
My
does hit.
Lovely DM. Oh, thank you. And for the next attack, does a 15 hit?
A 15 is not. So one of those strikes lands true, and the other one again skitters off, seeming to have no effect. So what does your 18? And this you said the bottom one, hey. What does your 18 do?
My 18 is a total of 5 damage.
5
Bludgeoning.
damage?
Bludgeoning, non-magical, if that's important, because
It is.
with the information that a 15 doesn't hit, Rick Jade doesn't know what the fuck these things are anymore.
All right.
That's the end.
Yep. So there's certainly you could see that certainly landed, and you could hear some creaking from the impact, and it didn't skitter away, and it seemed to make some kind of impact on the armor, but it doesn't seem to have done too much at this stage. All right, that's Rick done. Now the first suit of armor is the one that you just attacked, who is going to go straight back at you, Rick, who's just copped one in the ribs from you. And he has a multi attack, so I'm guessing a 6 doesn't hit.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't.
And does a 12 hit?
I will double check, but I'm gonna. God, I hope not. No, God, no, it doesn't hit. Not even close.
All right. So that suit of armor that you just cracked in the ribs takes 2 big ungainly swings at you, but you just easily evade and move out of the way. It's, no danger is felt from you. They don't even come close to causing you any kind of harm. So the reaching it did, the attempt to squish you was unsuccessful for that suit of armor. The one above you is going to do the same thing. Again, this time it is going to lift up its leg and try and slam it down onto your foot to take away some of your mobility in its very limited set of intelligence. 14.
14 will also not hit.
Yeah, and so that misses, slamming his foot down between your feet. And one last one with that multi-attack. Does a 16 hit?
That is my armor class. That will hit.
All right, so on that hit, let's see what you get for damage. All right, so you take 3 points of damage, and as you are hit by that armor, so the first one it tried to stomp, the second one it reached out, almost like slapping you in the face, and as it is hit for that 3 damage, it has grabbed a hold of you and grappled you.
Oh no! Whatever will I do? Oh,
It
sorry, that
sounds
wasn't.
okay.
Sorry, that wasn't sarcasm. I'm trying to take detailed notes of what it can do to us.
Yep, no, I got it. So it has, you are currently grappled by the top suit of armor.
Like with his hand, or
By the shoulder. So the right hand of the suit of armor has Rick by the shoulder.
I thought it was stomping me.
That was with its first attack. It had a multi-attack.
Oh,
So
I
its
thought.
first one was a stomp, and the second one was
Okay.
essentially a slap in the face that it then
I
used to.
thought like it
grab you by the
stomped
shoulder.
me and like pinned my foot to the ground. That was whew, okay. Awesome. I was worried for a second there.
Sorry, I dropped my pen. All right, and that is the second. Both those suits of armor are now finished their turn, and we are on to Alia. Alia Racer.
okay, I'm gonna take a step next to Fokianus, so I have a clear shot.
Yep. So you're coming up next to Fock. That's only 5 feet of movement. That's easy done.
She's coming
And
up.
then
She's coming up.
I'm.
She's coming up. She's coming up. She's dead.
I hope not. I'm going to attack with my longbow.
Yep. And which one
and
are you
I'm-
taking a shot at?
The upper arm of the one that has Rick.
Yep.
Okay, let's roll my dice and see what happens.
No worries.
10 to hit? No,
10
17. Sorry, 17.
17 just misses, and that arrow comes so close to shooting it. What aimed it up looking at was going into the eye socket of that suit of armor, but it's turned its head at the last minute to see what was happening out of the corner of its maybe eye, and the arrow has glanced harmlessly off the helmet.
What's the armor class?
Well, an 18 hit and a 17 didn't. I'll let you do the.
It's
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
didn't
a
hear
set
the
of,
first.
the set of full
I
plate
didn't
armor.
hear
Teacher
it.
fucking answers a question with a question.
Let's see if, 18.
My life. Oh, do I have a bonus? I have a bonus action.
I'm just having a look at your character. Do you have a bonus action?
Yes, I have bonus actions. I have
Okay.
spells that I can do as bonus actions. I'm gonna cast Ensnarling Strike.
Yep. So you're getting that ready for your next turn.
Yep.
Yep. I got that. All right. So with all of this this happening and having swarmed out of the suits of armor, the spiders that had erupted out of the bottom suit of armor have made their way across the roof to one of the sections that is not burnt away from those of you who were wafting your torches around, and it's actually made its way to just behind Alia, who has fired off the arrow that narrowly missed, and so that swarm of
cool.
spiders is going to take a bite attack at you. Does a 10 hit?
No.
So with some ninja-like reflexes that help you avoid the dynamite under the floorboards, you dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge away from all of the many spiders that are flinging around you in the webbing that's around your face, arms, hands, and feet, and you dodge all of those bites. Well done, because that would have hurt.
Sweet.
And we are now on to Fockionis, who has
Oh
a
my
swarm
God.
of spiders behind you, and then 2 suits of armor ahead of you attacking Rick.
So just to clarify, the 2 suits of armor, one of them actually has grabbed Rick.
Yep. So the top suit of armor has now currently, with its right hand, grabbed a hold of Rick by his left shoulder, and is holding him in a grapple.
I'm just trying to see. I can get to that suit of armor this turn, yes, if I charge.
What's the distance?
15-ish.
Yeah, you have that in your movement. I'm sure you've. Yeah, you got 30 feet of movement?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Pop rage.
Yep.
Because I've got my shield equipped, I kind of low-key want to just charge at this bad boy and see if I can't, pretty much knock him over, thus releasing Rick.
Yep. Yeah, you're trying to knock it prone to disengage Rick from the grapple. Okay.
Yes.
Is that a?
So I have unarmed strike, tavern brawler strike. I don't know. Do any of them really count as a charge? I mean, they're a melee attack. That's kind of a charge. No, I don't know.
I thought charge was an action.
Is it actual action? Is it?
Hang on. Those of you who are deeply engrossed in this world, is charge like a spell or a feature, or is it a
dash?
Feet.
There's dash. An action.
You just move
dash.
up and attack. That's charge.
All right. So if I was wanting to, I guess, effectively shunt with my shield, I could just basically call that an unarmed strike. Or
I think maybe what you're thinking of is shove to knock it prone, which is what Jay used on the horse. He used it to push it back.
Yeah, but I'm not a special, jujitsu genius.
Yeah, it's a melee.
Yeah, no,
It's a
I
melee
specifically used a monk thing, but you can just shove something as a melee.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, shove. Okay, cool. So, what do I roll for that?
Okay, so you need to make an athletics roll, please. Yeah.
Okay, so not a check, but a roll. Strength. Okay, athletics. 15 plus 5 does 20 hit.
Hang on, I've got to roll it for the suit of armor. I'm just looking at its. What was yours, sorry?
It's 20.
Yep, that certainly does. So with your shove, you knock that suit of armor, I mean, back into the wall from whence it like the platform that it was standing on, but it's tripped over and fallen prone over the platform that it was on, and has released Rick as a result of falling prone. Nice work.
Beautiful.
It rolled a 3, and it does not have a lot of bonuses.
Nice.
I won't say what they are in case that becomes important later, but yeah.
Yeah.
It rolled a 3.
All right, I don't have bonus actions or anything, I don't think, so I pretty much would like to just sort of probably stand there with my shield sort of somewhat defending myself and perhaps Rick to some extent whilst he regains his composure, ready to end these two, which I'm quite sure he will do shortly.
I'm sure that he will have
stern words.
He's always got something to say. All right, and on that note, we
just release the salt
before we return back to the next. So while all that's going on, which is only a very brief amount of time, like only around all of that has occurred, you've taken maybe 60 seconds, something less than a minute, even though it feels like an eternity for you guys. So we just returned back to Ivy, who's head under the pillow, and noting that for whatever reason, whether it was the movement or some kind of sensors or alerts, we don't know, but a really friendly large cuddly yellow figure has noted that Ivy was back to consciousness and has come in to the room beside her while all of that is going on, and sat to the bed beside, and just gently, not wanting to alarm her or put a hand on her, has just gently put a foot on the mattress and given a little nudge to see if he can elicit any kind of reaction, and maybe have the head come out of the pillow, from under the pillow. What would you like to do, Ivy?
The head does come out of the pillow because the pillow goes flying towards this thing.
And
Appropriate response.
the Mort just watches it sail over his left shoulder, and laying down to come onto eye level on the opposite bed to you. I'll speed this up a little bit, but it introduces himself. And what you're seeing is this big cuddly teddy bear that you were vaguely aware of when you walked into the safe room. Is laying on the bed opposite you. One eye is a black patch over it, and that patch has decorated on a big smiling sun. It would normally look really creepy, but somehow it serves to make the creature look even more adorable and huggable. The fur is just beautifully maintained and threaded with suns and love hearts when you look closely and see into it a little bit more. And Mort explains his role as a safe room keeper in very succinct terms. Doesn't go into as much detail as what he did with the rest of your party. He gives you the Cliff Notes version, and informs you that while you were out to it and recovering, the rest of your team has headed off to see if they could find the exit to the level. And it appears, as best he could understand it from the sounds, that he's picking up every now and then, echoing through the safe room entryway, that they may well have engaged in that combat, which will be a serious fight for their lives to exit the level.
Oh god, they're gonna kill more things.
They certainly will try so that they don't die. I can send you on your way, or as this is a tutorial training room, and he's trying to do air quotes with these big puffy yellow hands that just do not lend themselves to air quotes. Said, if you would let me, I think, Care Bear back you, I can speed you along your way a little bit with what I'm allowed to do as you've been separated from your party. I can speed you towards them and show you which way they've went, but I can only take you so far. Which way they've gone, but I can only take you so far.
I don't exactly know what you are, despite your very good explanation. I don't really know what any of this is anymore. But yes, I think. Will it hurt?
I promise the journey won't hurt. I can't promise you what. I don't know what awaits you when you rejoin your team.
Pain, misery, and destruction.
From this, from Mort is the same as the rest of your team. He's gruff. He's no bullshit really, but whether it's because he cares about you guys as people or elves, or whatever your race is you've chosen, or the fact that he has a real vested interest in you surviving far enough into this event to ensure his freedom, you're not really sure. But what you do know is that he cares, and he doesn't want you guys to die.
Of course he cares. He's a Care Bear.
I didn't even think of that.
Come on.
But sorry, Ivy, I think I cut you off there, Ivy.
Yes, please. Send me.
All right. So with that, Mort hops up, essentially bends down, like a little bit further than what currently would, which is not that high. He's much more rotund than Alia, but he's not that much taller than her. But he has a lot of girth and room to be able to somehow get those arms, despite the hands being really unco. He seems to be strangely dexterous in different points, and he lets you jump on board his back. You can wrap your arms around and grab a hold of him however you would like. Just please don't cover his one good eye, or he's not going to be able to find his way. And hoiks it under your legs and gives you a Care Bear backpack, where he essentially, while the battle is raging, he will save you around a third of the time it would have normally taken you towards getting to your teammates, so you won't rejoin them just yet. But Mort and Ivy get themselves basically round two in the time that your fight was occurring and the conversation was happening. Mort gets you to the entrance to this room, where when you look through, you can see that there is just inside the entryway, there is a crater that is now no longer smoking, but something has exploded. and then also diagonally opposite across from that. So essentially the doorway that you can see directly opposite from the doorway you're in front of, there are three craters on the diagonal. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. Let me ping it. So there's a crater, if you can see it on the ping there. There's a crater on the ping on the corner of the sarcophagus. There's a crater right beside the sarcophagus, and there is an unblemished stone in front of the doorway opposite you. So this is where Mort lets you down, and that's where we leave you guys just for the moment. That's what you're seeing, and we return back to Zachary.
Yes, hello. Well, I'd like to magic missile the same one I tried to shoot last time.
Yep, that was the bottom one. Yep.
Yep. So I get a 5. So that's 15 damage.
15.
Force
Yep.
damage.
Those missile. Now, what type of damage is magic missile?
Force.
Okay. So those missiles fly through and just strike true, each of them slightly rocking the armored statue. So you said, what was that total? 15?
15, yes.
Yep. So that animated armor that's come to life has definitely taken some hits from that, and you can see that it is certainly starting to experience some damage from it. Hang on, I'll give you the right description. It is definitely injured as a result.
Okay. And I move closer to Alia to.
Yep, over near where the spiders are. Yep.
Yeah. In my turn.
Okay. And Rick, you've got to your right or just above you a suit of armor that's been knocked on its ass by Fokiona, so it's currently prone. And then there's another one to your left that has taken a fairly decent bit of damage and impact from the missiles that just streaked out of Zachary. And there's spiders back down behind Alia that you can just see behind her and Zach.
Yeah, is no one going to firebomb them? Come on.
Arachnus Deficus, you'd be right.
So Rick, what would you like to do?
I was muted that whole time. Oh no.
Yeah.
I will I'm gonna drop my quarterstaff.
Yep.
First thing, get that shit out of here.
Because you had equipped your sword and swung with it in your previous
long sword in one hand.
Quarterstaff in the other. Yep.
Quarterstaff, ye just deleted that stuff out of existence as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Yep.
Staphus Ereticus.
And then I will take the
Kindling.
longsword in both hands, swing at the armor on my left. And I will attempt to behead that suit of armor.
Okay.
With the longsword.
Pacifist Rick is gone.
Yep.
Not a sentient creature.
Love it. That you know of.
Natural 20. Does that hit?
Natural 20 does certainly hit. Give me your damage before we do the rest of this.
How are we doing?
Can you just roll it for me in Foundry, because it'll give you maximum. It'll do your roll and then it'll give you maximum damage.
How do I do that?
Okay.
As someone who
that we went through a lesson.
Physical dice.
So when you do you've done did you do the attack roll in Foundry or did you do the attack roll?
No, of course I did.
Okay, so if you just do any roll in Foundry as an attack with your sword.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Once that comes through, it'll let you do the damage, and it's got a critical hit button.
Awesome. So
and for the sword, for the sword with two hands, it should have, I believe, a button that says versatile.
Okay. What?
Okay, just do the.
But you've explained how
critical
to do
hit.
damage without
Yep.
doing the first part of that in
So
Foundry. How do I make an attack roll in Foundry?
okay, so go into your inventory in features for your character.
Oh god, where is that? There it is.
So in inventory you've got your
Oh, yeah.
longsword. So if you
there
put
it
your
is.
mouse over the longsword and click on the dice, left click on the dice, you can do attack, damage, or versatile.
There is no die symbol.
When you put your
What?
mouse over it, it turns into a D20.
It does.
Yeah. So now,
Ah!
you can go and do any attack roll, because Foundry will say you must roll attack before you do damage. And then for two-handed attacks, you use the one that says versatile.
Hi, this is wrong. Like, my bonuses on Foundry are wrong.
Okay. Then I'm happy to do it with your dice roll and double your damage, double your total.
So am I doubling total or doubling dice?
Just
Double
roll
your
dice.
double your total. So you look at the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Geez, you did a good roll. So the way Foundry's doing it is doing your max damage plus your dice roll, but I am happy if you want to do your dice roll, do your dice roll and then double it.
Foundry, why did you give me 14? No combination of my numbers can do 14 damage with a longsword. Foundry.
It's treating you rolling a 6 on the 1d8 and adding on the max damage of the d8 for your longsword.
This is hilarious.
If I take minimum damage, can we move on right now? And pretend this
Yep.
conversation never happened. Awesome.
What-
3 points of damage, we're done with this.
And then we will double that for 6 because it was a crit. So I will give you that that in that strike you do knock the helmet off the head of that suit of armor,
And inside is 3 midgets.
but it doesn't seem to have any more adverse effect other than now there is an empty set of shoulders, the empty hole between the shoulders where the helmet was.
I've just figured out why Foundry is such a giant moron. It's a monk ability lets me use the longsword, but it doesn't. Nowhere in Foundry it has the monk ability, but nowhere in Foundry is it like, do you want to make sure it's the longsword for that one, bud? It's like you have this ability, it's active, but you better believe we're not going to let you use it. I'm going to end my turn then.
It's because it's saying that it's not equipped. Dude, if you go into the longsword and hit the edit button, you should be able to tick a box in there that lets you equip it. I'm going to let you look at that one, and we're going to keep.
There it is.
Yeah, we're going to keep on moving. So
this
suit
is all
of armor
needlessly convoluted.
Now that suit of armor that you just swung at is going to take a swing at you. So again, it's going to do its multi attack. It's basically doing eye for an eye. Actually, hang on, sorry.
It's got no
Which
eyes,
one's
it
which?
just knocked his
No,
head off.
my apologies. Yeah, so this one here is going to take an attack at you. Someone's just doing rolls.
Sorry, I accidentally did that. I would like to point out that equipping it didn't change anything. The numbers are still wrong.
All right. So does a 20 hit as it takes a huge swing at you with its headless body? And takes a swing at you.
Rick swings the longsword and then looks. He's just staring at the longsword in confusion. And then just gets absolutely pummeled in the jaw.
So, yep.
He doesn't even see it coming. As he gets his head rocked.
And with that, Rick takes 6 points of damage, and that suit of armor has once more, having smacked him with an uppercut, grabbed a hold of Rick by the shoulder and top of the arm, grappling him in place. It is determined to grab a hold of you. So that's the first attack. It has grappled you. Now, while this is while it's doing this, the suit of armor having hit you and grappled, it's going to take its multi attack and swing at you again. Does a 9 hit? No, it doesn't.
Rick's distracted, so I'm happy to give it to let it have advantage on me. Rick's not paying attention.
It doesn't get advantage. It's very kind of you. Actually, all right. You want to see what's happened? All right. Let's
Rick's
Let's
got
see
other
what it
shit going
does.
on in his head right now.
Rick has decided to give advantage up, but it's another 9, so apparently it's not going to. So the suit of armor, it clearly had something that it was trying to achieve with its left hand, and the swing it was trying to do was a really strange movement towards Rick's torso, but without its head, it seems to not quite have been able to complete that attack the way it wanted to, and it just flailed around emptily. The second suit of armor that Phocyonis knocked over is going to use half of its movement to get up, so it's slowly pulling itself back up onto the pedestal that it landed on, and noticing that that Rick is currently grappled, that suit of armor is going to take a swing at him as well.
Yeah, no, I should have seen that one coming at least.
Yeah. Yep. That's that first attack of the multi-attack misses. It's an 8. I know that doesn't hit. And the second one is a 19.
Ooh. Go get my shit rocked.
Right. So with that though, that 19 on that attack, having you already grappled by the other suit of armor, that suit of armor just starts to peel open like the most terrifying metal version of a carnivorous plant. And on the inside of it, you can see a whole series of just serrated spikes. Some of them apparently what appears to be caked in dried blood. And with that successful attack, that suit of armor grabs Rick and puts him inside, closing up. So Rick is now inside essentially a moving Iron Maiden suit of armor, and you take on that initial instance 1d6 of piercing damage. Do you have any resistances for piercing?
It does more damage with its fists than in its chest.
Give it time.
Just like to point that out. No, of course I don't.
Okay, so Rick takes 3 points of piercing damage.
Oh no.
And you are now trapped on the inside of that Iron Maiden suit of armor.
This is fine.
Rick, can you give me a quick health update? Just make sure I've got you down correctly.
At 3 hit points.
Yep.
I will point out, Foundry is inaccurate. Other than my health, pretty much everything else that's gotten written on there is wrong. I don't know why. I need to fix it. It's
what's your max meant to be?
Oh, my max is 15.
Okay, I do have that right because I'm doing a paper
my
and
HP
Foundry.
is right. Yeah. My HP is right.
Yep.
It is.
All right.
Getting that right at least.
So moving on, Ali, you've just watched the suit of armor that had a hold of Rick has just shoved him inside the other suit of armor, essentially swallowing him up. So this one here has moved across to basically grab him, and I know you could do it where it was. Do apologize. And has him now inside, and just little trickles of blood are trickling out of the cracks in that suit of armor. What would you like to do? You've got spiders around you, a swarm of them just behind you.
I can't do shit about those spiders with a fucking longbow now, can I? So I'm going to attack the right hand one, fucking suit of armor with my longbow again.
All right, so you're attacking the one that currently has Rick inside. Yep.
Yep, I'm going to need to try and immobilize him.
Okay. So you're doing this with your... Yeah, you got to do your attack roll first.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, that arrow just ping off the...
Literally, it teeter-tottered on 17 and 3.
So I think it almost hit Falk, and he's like, hey,
yeah,
what's going on? I'm working here.
There's now 2 arrows stuck in the concrete brickwork behind the suit of armor.
That's up. Hang on.
Yeah,
what other bonus actions do I have?
Because you still have your arrow prepped, because you only have to use that if you hit. You don't lose it because you missed. So you can keep that prepped for your next shot.
Oh, and just fire it off? No.
To keep concentrating on it.
Yeah,
Right.
what Egg said. You essentially, sorry, what Zachary whispers in your ear. You can maintain your concentration to keep that available to you, or you can change using a bonus action for something else.
No, well, I can only use my bonus action twice, so I'll keep it. I'll do nothing but like fucking kick stones on the ground. Actually, no. Can I kick one of the spiders?
Yeah. It would be symbolic at best as you swipe your foot through there. You don't have the actions to actually kick them.
No, but can, because I have a bonus action.
I don't.
Which is 2-weapon fighting.
I don't think kick is one of your bonus actions. Let me have a look.
It's an unarmed strike as a kick.
Yeah.
You need a light weapon in your offhand to use 2 weapons.
No, yeah. No, you can't take a kick at it with your bow in hand and your concentration on your arrows. I'm sorry.
God damn it.
All right. Unless you're going to try and move and give those spiders an opportunity attack.
Oh, fuck no.
If you have disengage, you can I don't know if you have disengage as a bonus attack. You could possibly do that if you have it.
Nah.
If it's one of your okay. So moving on, we are now onto the spiders. Now, with the spiders, they took that first initial attack at Alia, but the greater threat at the moment seems to be Zachary, who took a huge chunk out of the suit of armor. So that whole swarm is going to have a go at same as I did before with Alia. It's going to try and give you some bitey bites. Zachary does an 11 hit as that swarm moves its attention towards you.
No.
Right. So the swarm thus far has been ineffective in its attacks. Intimidating maybe, but certainly has not been as dangerous as what it seems threatening. Ivy, back to you. So you are now at essentially this entryway. I'm going to move you up because Mort has dropped you off and essentially said this is as far as he can take you. He ripped through. He knew exactly where to go to the entryway that your teammates had taken, but this is as far as he can go.
Because he doesn't want to die.
He wishes you all the best, and he's currently standing where he is, but he can't do anything more. So as you look through, you can see a pathway that is essentially 2 craters in the ground and then an untouched bit of stonework at the entrance to the door, and there's only one doorway and a sealed sarcophagus. What would you like to do?
Well, with my 20 feet of movement, I can make it to just past the door.
Yeah, so you can make it to the door and into the room. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
I would open
This is important. What steps would you like to... I need to know which stones essentially you are going to walk along.
Follow the path of destruction.
Wait. So repeating.
This is bad. I should have watched the entirety.
This is a crater. This is a crater. This is a crater, and this is smooth stonework.
Can I? I mean, they're already craters. They've already gone off. I'm just going to go along the craters.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So Ivy takes the path along the craters, and no further issues happen. You've safely navigated that. Now, the door that wouldn't open for your teammates when they entered the room and it's sealed shut swings open at your touch. You enter the room and it swings shut behind you, locking with a very final sound and clunk. And you find yourself confronted with, beside you is Zachary and Alia and a swarm of spiders just milling around in their webs non-stop. There is Rick. You can't see Rick. You can see Fokiona standing near 2 towering suits of armor. And in one of those suits of armor, you can see blood trickling out through the joins and the cracks. So no Rick, Fokionis, your other 2 teammates, swarm of spiders, 2 suits of armor. And you are next up in the initiative order. What would you like to do? In terms of people being hurt, Alia is barely injured. No one else that you can see appears to have taken any damage so far.
Well, I guess I'm going to throw a spell at the least injured walking armor.
Okay, yep. So the top one, you can do that.
No,
Well, so you
really
should,
like-
depending on the range, you should be able to do that. What are you looking at casting?
It's guiding bolt. It's 120 feet.
Yeah, easy.
It's 21 to hit.
And what kind of damage is that?
That is radiant damage.
Okay. So with the oh sorry, yeah, roll for damage. Sorry, apologies. I
I
was about to give you an instant hit.
said it was 21 to hit.
21 certainly hits. So that radiant beam of light just slams across, burning some more cobwebs away as it goes, and hits that suit of armor. What's your damage?
8
It's now
damage.
Glow. So that suit of armor takes 8 damage. It's certainly, you can see it is certainly is feeling that impact. And 4 of that damage is actually transferred through into the suit of armor, which I believe means Rick, you fall unconscious.
It's fine.
Is Rick now?
Dead.
Rick's now unconscious
so
in the.
First thing she does is kills a sentient creature.
So as that, I'm waiting to hear Rick. I think Rick has his mic muted again. You hear this kind of
Yes.
faint. Fokionis can hear it more clearly, but you hear this faint and see just a little bit more blood trickling out from the joints of that suit of armor that is quickly burnt away from that radiant beam.
Quietly, Rick to himself whispers, "Physical's better than digital." And then fucking dies.
He's not dead. He's unconscious at the moment.
He's not dead. He's just sleeping.
All
I
right.
didn't
So
know he was in
now
there.
we are up
Egg.
to Zach.
What's he gonna cast?
He's fighting back a laughing fit right now.
Do what you gotta do, dude.
Someone deal with the spiders.
Yeah, I gave suggestions.
What are you gonna do, Zach?
You're attacking suits of armor
Well, Egg's
before.
having a
No
Egg's having a
reason
little-
to stop now.
There I go.
says the unconscious Rick.
Can I try to get Rick out of it, or no? Wait, still worth.
Yeah, you can certainly try.
Zach doesn't think he's strong enough to do that, so I think he'll cast magic missile, but this time at the spiders.
Oh,
All right,
fuck.
two at the spiders, one at the armor he hit before.
Yep. Okay.
So roll that. Oh, 5 again. So the spiders take 10 force damage, and the armor takes 5.
Okay, hang on. So one.
Did
So
the one that
spiders.
you hit with the magic missile, is that the one that Rick is in?
No.
No.
We'll just double
No.
checking.
Yeah, it's the bottom one. So those spiders, those 2 magic missiles that went sailing into the spiders, they have an impact. Those spiders are feeling the pinch. That swarm has absolutely copped a frazzling from the magic that just poured into them. And that armor that you just hit is also, as a result of all of the damage it's taken and the latest round of magic missile, it's badly injured. It's hurting. So the spiders in the bottom suit of armor are sore. All right. And Zach, is there anything else you have with your bonus actions, etc., or your movement, or are you done?
Newspaper.
That's pretty funny. How many glass jars have you got to
That's
try
what I said
and say?
before.
I missed that.
Jar and a fucking piece of paper.
I should have thrown trash everywhere.
Zach will stay there.
You just washed it with rubble.
Right?
All right. So you're staying where you are. Now we are on to Rick. I wasn't expecting any of you guys to go unconscious. So does that mean you now have to do a death saving throw?
Question. I
Yeah.
am inside of its chest with the whole thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
obviously, at some point, I meant to take damage because I am inside the Iron Maiden.
Mhm.
Do I take that damage on my turn or its turn?
On its turn. So you will be taking,
Okay.
just so that you're aware for you, Jay, the player, you'll be taking that damage next. That suit of armor is
Awesome.
next.
That's great. I'd like to point out, if I fail this death saving throw, I die on its turn. Because if I take any damage, it is an automatic critical, and a critical is 2 failed saving throws, which will make 3 if I fail this one. Just
would
want to
be
point
hilarious.
that out.
Mhm.
That's a natural 1, baby.
Friend.
Let's just grab the. I don't know if I can. Where's the die?
Can I pass on my lucky?
You guys can't see that. Where
No,
is it?
no.
Nope.
However,
Where is it?
so
Damn it.
Little one
with
there.
one around that suit
Peace
of
out,
armor,
bitches.
around that suit of armor, all of you, Fokionis hears it best, but you all have a clear vision of this and at least able to hear it. There is a momentary glow and almost like a wispy puff of smoke out of a concert type smoke machine just goes thump. And the others don't know this, but Rick, you are currently unconscious in the bed opposite where Ivy was just moments ago in the safe room. So I'm just letting you know where Rick
If
ends up.
If you are MacGuffin saving me for the sake of
Respawn.
not killing someone, this is my last session. Fuck that nonsense. Murder me, coward.
No.
Do it.
Can I explain what's happening in the tutorial level after
it.
the session, please? No, this is not a Jay's life being saved. This is I'll explain more later. But this is simply what you don't know yet as a result of the tutorial level that you're currently undertaking as dreamers. Can I leave it there, Jay?
I'll be
Flash
quiet
Rick.
for now.
Thank you. So moving on, no one, again, you saw that weird puff sound, but not really sure what's happened. And the suit of armor that would have been doing damage at the start of its turn is taking, sounds like I should be looking to see faces that I might be making, is taking a swing at Fokionis, who's right in reach of it. So multi-attack, first one, does an 8 hit?
No.
All right. And secondly, it's going to swing again. Oh, that was nearly an 18. No, 2 8s. So that suit of armor is just ineffectually swiping at you. It appears like it's trying to grab you strangely, considering, as far as you're aware, there's someone inside it, but it misses on those swings. The second one is going to move into place so that it can take a swipe at you as well. The one that's been hit with the magic missiles does a 12 hit.
No.
All right. And one more swipe. The giant half orc is dodging like crazy. 21 hit.
Yes.
All right. So you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, unless you have resistances to that. And it has, in an eerily similar scene to what you saw before with Rick, that suit of armor has grabbed you by the left shoulder and top of your arm and has you grappled.
What? I'm raged, by the way, so no, you can't.
It can't grapple you when you're raged?
No, just making it up.
Because I don't remember it being rage.
You have resistance to the damage.
My question was, do you have any bludgeoning resistance? Because if you do, you'll take half that.
Was where would I find that?
In
And
your
rage.
Say again.
Look at the description for rage.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Advantage, strength saving throws, not attacks, +2 melee damage, resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Yeah, so you take half damage.
So 3. Right.
And that ends its turn. And we are on to Alia, who has finally seen some of those spiders take damage.
Finally. I'm going to shoot my longbow at the one that has Fokionis.
Okay.
Get that guy.
So that's the bottom one that is taking the severe damage.
18 to hit.
18 does hit.
All right, cool. Let's go damage.
Go for it.
Normal. 6.
Now, are you using your arrows that you've been keeping your concentration on as well?
No, there's no point.
Okay. So that's the arrow that you've shot through the headless suit of armor pierces in another joint and almost knocks off the left arm of the suit of armor, but the right arm is still intact. It's still grappling Phocyonis. Wasn't enough damage to break the grapple, but it is near death. That suit of armor, whatever is holding it together and animating it, is almost done.
Yeah, finally hit something.
All right. Are you doing anything else, or are you going to? Am I right to move on?
Nope. Move on.
Okay. The swarm of spiders who are already targeting Zachary are going to continue that because those magic missiles did an absolute number on them. So that swarm is heading towards you again, crawling all around you in the webbing. This left is a 19 hit.
Yeah.
All right. So that swarm having now, oh, hang on, what health are they on? Oh, they're half. Okay, the damage is halved, bugger.
Don't sound too disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just had to roll that again because I hit the wrong button. Or you would have taken full damage. All right, you take 8 points of damage as those spiders swarm around your trousers. Some of them able to find purchase, some of them not. Oh, wow, that hurts.
That's half?
Yep. They hit hard.
And
I told you to take him out.
Go down.
They actually rolled the maximum damage they could have rolled on that. that was incredible. And that's their turn. They're going to stay there. Phocyonis, you've got one suit of armor near death and another one that last you saw Rick was inside of. And the one near death currently has a hold of your left arm. You're grappled.
Right, so in terms of what my options are here, like obviously I can't move because I can't move away because I'm grappled. But can I still try to escape
cut him.
said grapple?
Sorry, what was the question?
Can I escape? Can I try to escape?
You can try to break the grapple. So if you make an athletics check for me.
Just to like clarify also, like
Yep.
so based on their positioning, he's kind of trying to grapple my left shoulder, which I'm kind of low-key unsure how he managed to do, given that it's holding a great big fuck off shield. But athletics check is what you're saying.
Well, your other question, I think, was, can you attack? You can certainly attack while you're in that position.
Can I attack even though I'm grappled, or do I have to escape the grapple first? I can still attack.
You can attack because you're in melee range. You can. It's same as what happened with Rick with the giant toad in the dream,
Cool.
where he was kicking it in the eyeball.
Right. Well, I am holding my javelin in my other hand, so I'm going to use that to see if I can't stab him, stab, old grapply boy, old suit of armor needs a conversation about consent.
Okay, so the consent armor is getting attacked. Got it?
Yes.
Rather than a break of the grapple. Yep.
Absolutely. All right, so let's roll spear. Does a 24 hit?
24. Was that a natural 20?
No, it's a 19 plus 5. 19
okay,
plus 5.
It certainly hits. Yes, you just skewer with that javelin. Tell me how much damage you did, and we'll see where we go from there.
7.
With that, your javelin pierces the torso of the armor with no head, and the light that was flickering on the inside of it that was barely holding it together just fades. And that suit of armor doesn't just collapse, but it essentially what you're ending up with is armor dust that is scattering on the floor. It completely loses all form, function, and shape. It is done.
Nice. Okay. Because I'm still raged, am I not? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Because I think your rage runs for a minute.
Fuck them up.
I I see what you did there.
Oh no, 10 minutes. Yeah, you're fine. Rage.
Yeah. So does that mean I can attempt to like? I don't suppose I can grapple because I've got a handful of shit. Like, I don't know, with a spear.
Well, you're no longer grappled.
Yeah.
When that animate armor
No,
died,
I
your
was
grapple
going.
was
Can I
broken.
in turn grapple the other guy that had, so to speak, swallowed?
Your turn.
You can try.
But my turn's done, I believe, unless I want to do a spar and try and play an
And-
additional spell.
Yeah, shut up. Moving on. Where are we up to? Ivy. With a very badly injured Zachary, a minorly injured Alia, and a very angry swarm of spiders that are in a bad way. What would you like to do?
Ivy has no clue what's going on. She's been carried here by a talking yellow bird. There's been moving armor. She doesn't know what to attack. The blood came out of the one she
Zachary
did
say,
attack.
like, that armor just ate Rick.
Confused and panicked. She'd rather let everyone else do the work. So, guess who's getting blessed?
Oh,
A blessing
yeah.
for all 3 people that are still standing.
None for Rick.
All right.
I
Well, you don't. And maybe Rick in a suit of armor, as far as you guys know. Okay, so what does bless is the one that gives them
The
advantage
3
on?
creatures of my choice get a extra
The
D4
D4.
on attack or saving throw rolls.
Hey, can you guys make note of that, please? It's only so much I can trust myself to track. Yep, and now what else can or would you like to do?
That's it.
Because you got that spellcast. All right. So Ivy has given you guys all some bonuses. We are back to Zach. I would just like to point out that there was a variety of potions, including health potions, that you guys received at some point during this dungeon. Just thought I'd remind you that some of you will have those in your inventory, in case you've forgotten.
No one gave Zach anything, so he doesn't.
Yeah,
No
didn't I give Rick some house potions?
I did not track who you were giving what
Um,
to. I know you guys were tracking that in your D&D Beyond.
No, I don't.
Zach was gonna avenge Rick, but now those spiders can take out half his health. He's gonna magic.
Oh my god, I
missile
have
those.
cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you've got about 20 of them.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, you did.
How many hit points do they give me back?
None at the moment.
God damn it.
They're not good berry. They're not good good berry
You're
burgers.
saying there's a chance in the future.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
And with his last spell
Zach.
slot, Zach's gonna cast magic missile on the spiders, all 3 of them.
Yep.
On the spiders. So that's
Righto.
3. The 3 missiles is 9 damage.
Yep. So with that, as those missiles slam into them, that swarm of spiders and the webbing that they are occupying is just shredded with the impacts, and the swarm is decimated by it. And there are a few hardy elite few spiders who are holding on, but as a swarm, it is nearly dead.
Well, can it die? No, that's Zach's turn.
All right. Now, Rick, very quickly, because there's not much here for you. You barely, and you are in a concussed-like state. Your eyes are blearily open. You can see Mort has come in, and he looks like he's come in at a run. He is looking really concerned. Again, can't really get a read on exactly what. He presses a section of the wall. You don't really know where, and you can't really move yourself or your head. You are just swimming in a sea of pain and regret at the moment, and confusion. Your hit points are essentially at 0.5. You can't get up. You can't move. You are on the verge of life and death.
I will let myself die.
What you can see in your inert state is on that screen. the battle that is unfolding with your teammates, and Mort just rests very gently, pats you on the shoulder, and goes, "All you can do is pray or hope, whatever works for you."
Can I speak? Can Rick speak?
You can semi-coherently mumble. You're not in full charge of your faculties
I
at the moment.
mumble at Mort. Don't touch me.
And being very considerate, as you've noticed with Mort, he's been very careful of everybody's personal space. He looks a little bit taken aback, quietly, sorry, and takes his paw away and just sits on the bed, watching the screen intently, leaving you to your own devices and whatever's going on for you in this insane environment you've found yourselves in. Now, the suit of armor, sorry. The one running suit of armor is going to continue its assault on Phocyonis. Oh, that's not the right button. Does a 17 hit.
17 hit me?
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
All right. So again, oh, hang on. No, that was not the one that grabbed you. So seemingly eerily familiar to what you have been dealing with these suits of armor, it strikes out at you, glancing strike across the jaw that does 5 points of damage, and it is now over the top of your shield, grabbed a hold of your arm again, once more in that spot that is starting to get somewhat bruised on your shoulder. Now, being 5 points of damage, will be rounded down because it's halved, so 2 points of damage, which I think takes you down to 18.
Thank you. That was what I was going to ask.
So that's its first attack. Then second attack, again, does a 23 hit.
Well, you know it does.
So with that hit, no damage is taken. That second arm grabs you. The armor opens up, peeling back again, that metallic, bloody flower opening again, and swallows Phocyonis inside. Rick, those of you who can see, is no longer inside the suit of armor. And you take, do you get any resistances for piercing damage in your rage state?
Yeah, piercing, slashing, bludgeoning.
All right, then you take 3 points of piercing damage. And you are now grappled on the inside. You're contained on the inside of that suit of armor.
Wonderful.
Alia, over to you.
I'm just going to fire my arrow at the one standing suit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing. You go shoot. Then maybe there's some muffled sounds of Phocyonis with some fresh blood dripping out of that suit of armor, and all of you are in a little bit of shock.
It's still got a head, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's still got an everything.
Exactly. It's not like I'm going to fucking pierce it in the gut.
You got to hit
Jesus
it first.
Christ.
Carry on.
Well, fuck. Wait, what was that?
I don't know why that. Could you just do that as an attack roll again for me, please? I'm not sure why there was so many dice flew out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either. Oh.
Oh, fuck. All right. So that arrow just streaks across the room, almost catching a light with the speed and the anger that you have impelled into that strike. We know it's a crit. Can you go ahead and roll damage? And Phocyonis, you have resistance to piercing damage, you said, don't you?
I fucking hope so.
That's gonna be important. All right, Ned, you did that as a you did that as the crit. Oh, he rolled really low, sadly. Okay, so the armor. Let me deal with it first.
I didn't mean it to happen.
What's up?
Sorry, say that again.
Don't forget the spell he cast as well. What's up?
Oh, so you're talking.
Yeah.
About,
Yeah, that's included in this.
First off, the suit of armor is badly injured by that. It really hit like that. That has really taken a chunk out of it. But that arrow has just pierced through the throat, the chink in the armor of the throat, and has really siphoned off the life force. And And it would have done that same 13 points to Phocyonis, but because of the halving, you take 6 points of damage on the inside of that armor.
So,
Ooh.
Didn't it go into his body, not his head?
It went into the chink in the throat of the armor, and Phocyonis is rumbling around in there somewhere. You're not exactly sure where, and he takes that in the top of his shoulder. He gets it in the overdeveloped trapezius that he's been lifting weights clearly at the gym. All right, that's now the spiders.
No.
Yeah, are you going to use your spikes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which means he needs a saving throw.
All right. And you use the ensnaring strike, hey?
Yeah.
Yep. So what's the saving throw on it?
It needs to be a 10.
For which?
So I think I
Strength?
presume that says strength. STR.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All
it is.
right. Yeah. No worries. He rolled really well. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Sorry, no, I'm an idiot. No, that was an ability check. Apologies. 17. So he saves that.
Okay.
Those vines harmlessly clatter around the feet of the armor, but they don't take root. They don't tangle it. They're brushed off. Spiders. They've copped a fair bit of damage from everybody, but having just seen or felt the attack that Alia has just unleashed on that suit of armor, those spiders, the remaining few, are going to take a last-ditch effort at biting the little raccoon. It's a 13 hit.
No.
There's too few of them. That arrow burnt away more cobwebs as it flew through across the room. They miss. They're struggling to hold on to life. Phocyonis, on the inside of that suit of armor, what are you thinking? And what would you like to know? Because you are technically grappled, so to let you know, you do have the ability to attempt to break that grapple, or you can try and cause damage on the inside of the armor.
So just
as broad
clarify,
strikes.
what happened to my shield and sword when I was enveloped by this cantankerous
It is such a large area. They are jammed in there with you.
So making it harder to move. Amazing.
They are making it harder to move.
I just saw the photo.
So with how compressed you are in there, you will be making any attacks you make will be at disadvantage just because of the compressed nature of your space. You have limited room, unless rage gives you advantage, in which case it'll cancel out and give you a straight roll.
I need to channel my inner small yellow bear and try and Care Bear stare my way out of this fucking suit.
Was that your way of telling me that you're basically going to try and muscle your way out?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you to make a athletics check for me, please, as you just try and channel all of that.
I'm just gonna go
work
I'm just gonna flex, bro. I'm just
before
gonna flex.
you
so that's a check, isn't it? In that second column.
ability check, yeah, athletics ability check.
9. I don't know that does much.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
The suit of armor roll did 5.
Yes.
So with that, the orc on the inside of the suit of armor, you see the momentary shuddering, and then those plates that folded open so gracefully before to envelop him and bring him in just are shoved forcefully outward and sliding out, covered in slick in his own blood, and using that to get through the hole that was created in the chest cavity, landing prone in front of the suit of armor, comes Phocyonis. Well done. You have just burst out of the inside of that armor. You are now prone in front of it.
Jesus, man. Buy a guy dinner first. Fuck.
All right, Ivy, we're up to you. You got spiders beside you and a suit of armor and, the rest. Fockionis has just come like almost sliding out of the world's scariest slippery dip.
He has been birthed by the night.
He
It
has.
is the cycle of life right in front of us.
Reborn from a suit of death armor.
Reverse Oreo.
He has just been
no.
reversed oriented by the suit of armor. Oh, great callback. Great callback.
Well, I'ma look at this newly birthed man going on about buying drinks and agree with him. The knight should have asked consent, and he can have 8 healing from my healing word.
All right. That's almost doubling his health.
Good. Consent's important, kids.
All right. So with that, now that's you've done your healing word. Would you like to do anything?
No, that's all.
Okay, and you're staying next to the swarm of spiders. All right. Back to you, Zach. The Spider Slayer. Attempted Spider Slayer.
We'll attempted Spider Slayer. He'll just take out his dagger because that's all he has and try and go at the spiders with his knife.
All right. The butter knife.
It's an actual dagger. It's not. Be like that.
No, have at it. Yep.
All right. Do it. The 15.
Look, 15 hits, and don't even roll damage. I'll actually do it in case you get a nat 20. Oh no, you won't. Sorry, apologies. You won't get a nat 20 on that. So just a whirling dervish of anger and gore. With that, Zach just carves through the spiders that he has previously assisted to decimate with magic missile, and just proceeds to pin them to the ground, stomp on others, just backhand a few more into the side wall. He just annihilates the remaining spiders. There is nothing left of them once he is done other than a few bits of bloody webbing. Nice work, Zach. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'll leave it there, thanks.
All right. Rick, you are just continuing to lay there. You can mumble and murmur and interact with Mort if you would like, but you are just watching on the panel that is lit up in the room all of this unfold, and you've just seen Fockionis narrowly escape the same situation that landed you where you currently are. And the others, some barely hanging on, but they seem to be tipping the tide of this battle for the first time in their favor.
If it's okay with you, Rick would have just gone to sleep.
Okay, at that point,
he
passed
would have
out.
missed all that.
Yep. All right.
Yowdy.
No, you're. It's all too much.
The...
How did you get that so quickly with the expenditure of birthing Rhino? All right, I can't watch that while I'm trying to listen to this. The suit of armor that is now going to get advantage on these attacks for the melee attacks because you're prone. So it's going to do its multi attacks while you're currently in front of it. So it desperately wants to, if you haven't already picked up on it, it wants to put you back in the Iron Maiden. So 18. I know it hits, but I'll do by just in case it gets a 20. No. So first off, in the first of the attacks with advantage, it leans down, slams its fist into your chest, and again burrows those thick metallic fingers, re-gripping the section of your shoulder that has thankfully not been pierced by an arrow, but it is now bruised and battered from the repeated grapple attempts of these multiple suits of armor. And on its second multi-attack, 23. I'm just going to do the second one in case it crits as it puts you in itself. No, it doesn't. So okay. Fockionis, having just bench pressed your way out of this suit of armor, you find yourself having taken, in the first attack where it basically bashed you and grabbed you, you've taken 3 points of further damage, and you find yourself, actually no, that'll be down to 1 with the rounding. You find yourself back in that Iron Maiden once more, taking
seriously
a further 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
So you're back down to 13, and the rest of you watching have just seen Phocyonis, who has barely gotten himself out of that suit of armor, has now been bashed, thumped, and forcibly shoved back inside again. Ivy, we're back to you. There's just the suit of armor left on the field.
Is it
Yeah,
my
And he's
turn?
badly
guess,
injured. Oh, did I
yeah.
miss you? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I went Phocyonis instead of the suit. Sorry, Alia. Again, my apologies.
Oh, I was so confused.
No. No, please pull me up. Because he grabs Phocyonis. I looked at the wrong section on my order.
How many hit points is Phocyonis?
You don't know. He
Oh,
looked.
fuck.
He got. You saw him get some healing from Ivy, and he looked injured, but he certainly wasn't critical when you saw him clamber his way out of the suit of armor. He wasn't on death's door as you could, the best you could tell. Although you did see him just take a little bit more damage, and you don't know how much he took when he went back in and was pierced again.
Well, all I got's my longbow, so I'm just going to fire that off again.
Okay.
Sorry. Not sorry. Never mind.
14 does not hit. That suit of armor is badly injured. Like you can see that it's starting to get those same sort of sparking lights that the previous one did. It's just not as clear on this one because it's still got a head. But no, that arrow misses and clatters in and joins your other ones. You're getting quite a collection. If only it was darts and triple 20s.
Shut up.
All right, and now the spiders are gone, so they're dead. Phocyonis, you are inside again. You find yourself in this familiar position. What would you like to do?
Just reverse.
Do you want to try the same method that worked for you last time?
Sure. I don't know that I have much strength left, but I'm going to give it a red hot go.
All right. So, athletics again.
Yep.
Roll versus roll.
Oh, I better roll. Come on. Oh, not really. 12.
Oh, the armor rolled much better that time with the 16. So, unfortunately, you push and you push and you can feel it just starting to give, but the armor has wizened up to what you did last time, and you might need to find a different spot to push that force onto because you felt it give and then it all just snapped back into place again. Now we're back to Ivy with Phocyonis inside a suit of armor and the rest of you on the outside near the door, the locked door.
It's a bad suit of armor. It's really terrible at asking consent.
Yes, we've
You know
established
how,
that.
you know how you'll see in movies, you'll have one like character choking and then someone comes up and just like really, really hard slaps their back?
Mhm.
Imagine that, except with a ghostly skeletal hand as she casts Chill Touch.
Nice.
And what type of what school of magic is that one?
That does necrotic damage.
Okay, yep, it has no. I just wanted to make sure it didn't have extra vulnerabilities, etc. All right, now is that one of those ones that instant hits like magic missile, or do you need to roll to hit?
It's an 18 to hit.
Definitely it hits. But it hits. So that giant big pat on the back to try and dislodge the choking Heimlich. Yep, and damage
for 5 damage.
All right. That suit of armor stumbles forward slightly, but just manages to catch itself. Is now looking near death. It is almost done. Do you get any extra resistances to necrotic damage? Sorry, Phocyonis.
I don't believe so, no.
All right. What was the full damage? Sorry, I did the halving as you said it.
5.
Ivy? 5. Okay, so you take that full 5 damage, taking you down to 8.
No, I'm already on 8.
Oh, I missed one then, so you're down to 3.
Amazing.
Phocyonis is in a bad way on the inside, but you guys don't know that. We are now back to Zach.
So Attack's not very strong.
Did you get any bonuses from that bless that was before? Does that help you with anything? That's a genuine question from me.
If I want to kill Fokionis, yeah, that'll help.
With how damaged the armor is, you guys are actually seeing more of Fokionis, whereas before it was completely sealed. Like, that armor is starting to come apart at the seams. And you can actually see that Fokionis is still in there. Unlike before with Rick when it was all fresh and sealed up. There's now a fair bit of damage being taken. So you can see that he's in there. He's still wriggling around. He's still trying to break free.
He's still, raging. So
He's still raging.
Yeah, as a bonus action, I'll use my 2 sorcery points to get another spell slot.
Yep.
And then just run up to it and try and, get the armor off Rick with my dagger, like attacking it.
Okay, so yep. All right. So piercing, go for it.
Yep. Yes. So 13 to hit.
13 does not hit. So that dagger just cannot quite damage that really sturdy armor. Even though it's taken a lot of hits, it's still a bit too strong. You haven't found that weak point.
All right, yeah, and I try and get it to attack me instead of the other 2 in the room, and my turn.
Okay. All right. And now we've gone. Rick is now asleep, so we're moving past him. Alia, you're up.
Isn't sooner armor up?
Yeah, so you're up to take your actions. There is 1 suit of armor left with Fokionis inside. You can see him wriggling around. You definitely know that he was sore and damaged before he went in, but he's still clearly alive. He hasn't disappeared like Rick did.
Okay, but isn't it the suit of armor's turn, not mine?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being kind. I missed that. Thank you. So
Yeah,
you
I'm
take
not being evil, like, come on, Spar.
Fokionis with your halving. No, thank you. With your halving, you take 1 point of piercing damage. So now down to 2. Just because it's in the start of its turn, you are inside the suit of armor. And that suit of armor is going to take a swing at Zachary, who has run up to it with his butter knife.
It's not a butter knife.
It's been described as a butter knife. It's now canon. 7, I'm assuming, doesn't hit.
No.
And a 18. Does an 18 hit?
Cast shield, so no.
All right. And so the first swipe misses, and you can see that it's also trying to grab you and slam you like it did with Fokionis. And with the second attack, that shield bursts into life as it did in the dreaming and deflects that attack. All right. Now we're on to Alia. My apologies and thank you for your honesty.
So I can see whereabouts Fokionis is inside the thing now.
You can see, so if the question is like if you're looking for where you've got a clear shot, I will give you with how damaged he is and how weakened he is, that if you like what you're asking for, and I know you've got a decent perception, so I won't ask you to roll for it. If you can make a headshot, you will not damage Fokionis because his head is not inside the helmet of the suit of armor. Anywhere else on that suit of armor, he has a body part in there.
Okay. Let's go attack. Normal. Fuck my life.
Oh, that's so close. And
Come
great
on, he's
shot.
dead anyway.
It hits the helmet, but again, he skitters off. It just misses the eye socket.
Are you blessed?
Oh, yeah. Don't you get pluses? She was one of the blessed ones. So tell me what you get as a.
Doesn't Ivy pick what that goes to?
No,
she
you
gave
do.
it to the 3 of you.
Oh, I do. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
you
going to
do.
that.
All right.
So add a d4.
So roll your. It's not going to
How
matter.
do I
You only
do
got
that?
to roll
Where's
a
that?
1. Look, honestly, you don't need to because you only got to roll a 1. So with that, can you
Okay.
roll damage for me? that arrow pierces the eye socket, knocking the helmet back and pinning it to the wall. So Phocyonis, again, you can't see his head, you can see the rest of his body. And with that 9 damage, the helmet disintegrates, as does the rest of the suit of armor, into that same powder that the other one did before. And Phocyonis slumps to the ground prone, barely alive, barely breathing, but he's still with us. And as that happens, the instant that that armor disintegrates, the door that was behind you swings open, so it unlocks and swings open, allowing light to shine through. And the big sarcophagus that had all of the fancy runes over it at the top of the stairs and the seats beside it crumbles and disintegrates, revealing a portal that, as was described to you guys when you met up with Mort and entered the dungeon, this is, as best you can tell, the reward. Nothing has been announced, nothing has been said, but the sarcophagus is gone. The portal, there is a portal that's open, and those 2 seats that were there fold back open, revealing what appears to be some kind of chest or crate, and they are glowing slightly. Rick is still nowhere to be seen.
Hey, Fox, did you see Rick in there anyway? What happened? Where'd it go?
Feeling very poorly.
You do know that any of the dungeon critters that you've come across, like you've still got, there's piles of, or they're mostly blowing away, but there was piles of dust left from the suits of armor. There was gore left behind from the squash spiders. You had to go and stack up the goblins like they were lumps of wood. Rick, there is just no trace other than, you know, maybe some of his blood mixed in with Phocyonis's. It's hard to tell because it all took place in what is now a very messy section of the room. And he just doesn't appear to be there at all. It's oddly jarring compared to what you've seen previously.
So do we notice also that huggable surly bartender is not there either?
Well, you're still in the boss room with the door you entered is open. You can see, like, the sarcophagus is disintegrated. That platform's about 15 feet high. So you've seen that it's there, and you can sort of see a glow that you're familiar with from the portals that you've seen when you entered the dungeon itself, when you entered in when the fall occurred. And you can see that the chairs are flipped open at the top of that platform, and they appear to be glowing with something. But you can't see much more than that in this room. Nothing else has come to life. Nothing else has appeared. There's a change at the top of the platform. A door has opened that you entered in. So for Ivy, that was the one that Mort brought you to. For the others of you, that was the one that you took yourselves to.
Well, if the door's open, can I, like, sort of put Fox's arm around my shoulder and sort of go, like, let's go back to the safe room and sort of help walk back?
Yep. Are you wanting to go with him for that, Fox?
Absolutely.
You let yourself be
yes.
led?
No, I would like to take this opportunity to play my pot of vodka card.
Yep. And what would you like to do with it?
Oh, that allows me to have 3 different shots of vodka. So, yeah, I would like to definitely make my way back to the bar. Thank you.
Oh, no, I thought you meant you had because I think you said you were stashing your vodka without drinking it when you left the safe room. So I thought you were
I'm
going
going
to
need more than that when I dash.
Yep.
I can't believe you just played a Pokemon card.
Come on, what's
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Is it?
So I'm going to just
I'm
start
not
moving you
looking at
guys
it
out of the
as
way. So they're
Handcrafted
staggered.
Yu-Gi-Oh card.
They're staggering away. I've had to go past Alia and Ivy. I'm assuming you
so
guys
it
have
is.
told them, or you've heard Zachary saying that to Phocyonis that, come on, I'm going to take you back so you can recover. Similarly, I guess, to what Ivy did. Ivy and Alia, what would you guys like to do?
Go to.
follow them and keep asking if they need healing.
You're out of combat, so you can use your healing slots for anyone that would like it. You are able to rest up when you get to the safe room. So we'll get all of you guys back. You've left the room as is. The door is still open. You've made your way back to the safe room, and the first thing you notice when you walk in is a very worried Mort sitting opposite Rick in the what is meant to be the sleeping quarters, but of late has been a medical bay more than anything. But that worry, as soon as he sees you, it was almost like he couldn't believe what he was watching, unbeknownst to you guys have been watching on the screen. And now it's just like all of the tension leaves his body. He comes out of the room where Rick's asleep. All of you can see that Rick is there. He's not conscious. He's breathing. He definitely doesn't look in a bad way, but he looks like he's at least appears to be mending, as everything in this dungeon you found yourselves in seems to have these rules that you're slowly coming to terms with after having that dumped on you and basically injected straight into your brain when you entered into the dungeon itself. And Mort comes out and just it kind of almost like does he give you a hug? Does he reach out to shake your hand? Awkwardly not sure what to do, and he just reverts back to what appears to be his go-to in social situations, and this time gets onto a stool and reaches the highest bottle of some dark amber fluid that he can reach and begins pouring glasses and go, "You lucky fuckers, you did it. You lucky fuckers." And he just very much lack of belief of what's going on, shaking his head every now and then, looking at you. Every now you can hear murmurs of, "Oh, they might just do it. Maybe, but they can't fuck around like they did there. Jesus Christ." And he's just mumbling and murmuring and pouring drinks. And he just comes out with this tray of at least 20 pint glasses of liquor placed on the table as you're all slumped into the the tables and chairs or floor of the safe room. What would you like to do?
What are you talking about? I'm fine.
I would like to drink.
Fokionis just starts dropping. How many are you taking? First, tell me you're drinking at the moment, Fokionis, as you are healing up a 2 points.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking for something that looks disgustingly strong, just so I can, maybe ease the pain a little.
All right, so you've grabbed one of those top shelfers, and it's a surprisingly sweet. It burns. My goodness, it burns, but it's a pleasant burn and taste as you drink it. I'm assuming you're gulping rather than sipping after everything that you've been through.
Absolutely.
Yep. So Fokionis is very quickly down through his first pint glass, reaching for his second, and has a lovely warm buzz going on. We'll come back to you if you're going to keep on doing those to see if we have to make any Constitution drunken saves. Anyone else?
Ivy would like to join Fuck at the bar.
Yep. Ivy grabs one of the miscellaneous pint glasses, and are you also proceeding to start sculling your drinks down?
Using a glass.
Well, they're in pint glasses at the moment. Oh, you're reaching for a bottle. You can't get behind the bar to get a bottle, but if you ask Mort, I'm sure he'll give you one.
I would like to ask Mort for a bottle, please.
Yep. And he just looks you up, and he's still like on a stool behind the bar from where he went back to after pouring and bringing out the first drink, and he just starts lining up bottles on the bench top. He's basically getting a gradient from clear liquor all the way through to dark. So you can take your pick of almost any type of that Ivy would like. There is very soon 20 or 30 bottles of liquor across the bar top for you to choose from. Help yourself. He just sees what you're looking for and wordlessly hands it over.
She takes both the first one and the last one in the row.
Yeah, so you've got essentially you've got yourself a clear. His vodka is one of Mort's favorites. So the very first bottle he put down was vodka, and then at the very end of it, you have something that smells suspiciously like a mix of diesel fuel and coal. That from the label, as best you can gather, having already started necking the vodka bottle, is a very peaty Scottish whiskey at the other end of the spectrum. So you've got them in each hand. You can do with that as you would like.
Perfect.
Ivy drops down with the 2 drinks. As everyone's kind of unwinding a little bit, Mort climbs back over onto the bench top and sits himself there and just grabs one of the bottles and starts necking it himself as he's talking to you all. He goes, "Oh, look, I'm glad you fuckers are all alive. One thing I forgot to mention, and maybe you found some shit in this dungeon. When you're in the safe room, if you're going to stay overnight, if you're going to sleep, you're going to have that 8-hour rest, I can identify anything you find and you're not sure what it is inside the safe room while you rest. It's not fast. When you get to the world between through the portal, others can do it faster, but forgot to mention that's one of the services I can provide. No cost. I do that as your Bobka.
Rick,
Have you found anything?
Rick, having gotten up with his shirt off, just looking at the bruises covering his own body, gonna look over at you guys and just say, "So, you find anything?" While he's walking over to Mort, he doesn't look at Mort, but he just snatches the bottle out of his hand and sits it back on the bar.
Before everyone starts digging through their bags, Rick, glad you're alive. For all of
don't pretend to care about me. Don't pretend
Mort's
to care
hurt.
about me.
For all of you, this...
I would like to clarify with everyone. Yep. I point at Mort and just say, he doesn't care about us. He cares about what we can do for him. I want to make that clear.
Mort's just...
I look at Mort and just say, can we leave now? This level. Can we leave?
Died,
Exactly, and Rick has better things to fucking do than listen to Mort's bullshit. Any respect he had for Mort before, which was minimal, is gone now.
I thought he loved him.
With your whole party, you should be able to form up and leave. Did any of you look at the portal before you left? Was it open? Did it have a sheen over the top? I can answer that question with a bit more detail.
Yeah.
All you could see was a glow. Did anyone actually walk up to the top of the platform? Because you couldn't see much.
Oh God, no!
I didn't walk anywhere.
No, I didn't think anybody did. So, no, you can't really.
I wasn't doing that by myself.
So you tell all that to Mort. Yeah, look, it was probably closed off like a safe room, but when you go back together, you should be able to walk through together. There should be, that being a boss, from what you encountered, from what I saw, there should definitely be reward loot as well as possibly some bonuses when you step through the portal.
Shiny.
But be careful because this is a training level. Apparently Borant is letting death not be an option level 1. That will not continue. That doesn't happen every single fall. When I saw Rick get squished, I didn't expect to see him pop up here. Take your deaths and your lives seriously.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's Rich coming from a guy who's nice and snug in his safe.
Sorry, can you say that a bit louder? I just can't hear you.
No, Rick's mumbling under his breath.
Oh, gotcha. So, what you're a few drinks in. Ivy and Fokionis, with the pace that you are drinking, just so I know how steady you're going to be on your legs as you walk out of here.
I'm racing fuck.
Can I get you both to just make a Constitution? It'll be just do it as a saving throw for me. I want to see how much this booze that you are necking is knocking you around and whether you're able to exit here under your own power. In Foundry, you can just click on Constitution, the word, and then hit saving throw for your character.
Do you want us to do it that way since you've said it, or?
Yes, please. Or you can roll a dice if you want. Just add whatever your proficiencies and bonuses are that come up with it.
I don't trust the computer. Where's my dice?
I just
should have trusted the computer. I got 6.
All right. Yep. I follow that away for a sec.
Looks like I'm carrying Ivy out of here.
Am I rolling?
I just want you to hit your Constitution.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And do it as a saving throw. I want to see how much the booze is knocking you about.
21.
All right, 6 to 21. So, have you guys all made the decision that you're going to leave?
I thought we were,
Oh.
were we not resting?
Who, they look.
Or
They
do
look
you
pretty
want to
banged
stay
up,
for a
don't
short
they?
rest?
I would like sleepy now.
Fockionus is near death.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
notifications have come up to say that the dungeon is closing soon or anything like that. All you do know is Mort said that there's definitely loot in that room somewhere. The portal to exit should open when you should be able to enter it when you go through as a group. It was probably inaccessible while Rick was still in the safe room, and the rest of you were in the boss room. But you don't have anything at the moment that is pushing you towards having to rush it. And you do know that stepping through the portal, you'll be going into somewhere more safe than a dungeon. Not as safe as a safe room, but more safe than the dungeon.
Yeah.
How does
Should we
Zach
go get
look? Sorry.
look amazing? So I
Listen here, you little shit.
Zach's gloves and white shirt are just drenched with blood to the point that his red bow tie is almost indistinguishable from his white shirt. And Fockionus is more slowly drying blood than green orc skin at the moment.
Pulling his like long sleeve overshirt back on, Rick will very carefully and very slowly, because he doesn't want to make it look like he's going to murder him, which was a possibility previously.
Sentient
He
being,
didn't
though?
like this man. Yeah, but morally, I reckon Rick could murder Zach and sleep well at night, given his opinion of him. But Rick will give Zach. Rick has a set of fine clothes that he will offer to Zachary.
one goblin.
Oh, that's nice.
Self-defense.
He will offer Zachary his set of fine clothes, and he will point at Zachary and say, "Put it on. You're coming for a walk." He said,
Uh-oh.
and we should go collect that.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Zach.
Shut up.
You know, part of me envied you when I thought you were dead.
Nope. Don't talk to me. Not friends.
So
Rick's
are you
walked
going?
away.
All right, so you're going into the bathroom. That's the only private space you have is the bathroom to get changed. So are you going to change, or are you going to put those clothes away? How are you going to react, Zach?
Sorry, what did he give me again?
Fine clothes. A set of fine clothes.
A full set of fine clothes. So a shirt, a jacket, a pair of pants, all the underclothes you need, and a very nice pair of black boots. It's basically like the medieval equivalent of like a nice suit.
He gave you that drip.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should clarify. When I say black clothes, I mean a replica of the Black Power Rangers outfit. Because
yeah,
amazing thing I could think of. No, it's just a black suit, like a form-fitting black suit. So
yeah, chuck it on.
All right, we need to go into so you go into the bathroom. You find that when you walk through that bathroom, your instance of the bathroom is essentially very familiar. It's the same as the bathroom in your home that you share with your lovely wife, and you get a pang of nostalgia, but you still don't know exactly what's happened with her, so you're not too overcome with emotion, and you're too wrung out from everything you've been through. But in that familiar surroundings, you do what you need to do and come out changed and looking a lot cleaner in the clothing provided by Rick. So Rick and Zachary are heading out. You haven't been in long enough to do a short rest yet. You can stay for a short rest and then go. You can go individually. You can go as a group. I just need to know what you're doing.
Let's just go get the loot.
Sorry, I will clarify. The only one he invited to come was Zach. Rick. Does Rick have any health points, or am I still on the 0.5?
You're now on basically 1 HP.
Awesome.
So
Rick's
you're on
going
1
in.
and Fockionus is on 2.
Rick's not waiting. If Zach doesn't want to come, that's fine. He doesn't.
Zach comes. It's about to
but Rick is
going.
going on 1 hit point. He will just bring his bag and his sword.
So the rest of you have overheard this. What are you doing? They're heading out to get the loot. Is what
I'm gonna go with these idiots.
So Ali is trailing behind.
I wasn't inviting Ali up for the sake of Ivy, but that's fair. Idiots is the right word for what's happening.
There's loot, potentially rubble or trash involved. Like Ali is there.
Yep.
Yeah, but combined, you guys have barely any hit points, so
I'm fine.
If we die, we just come back in.
Yeah, exactly.
You think?
There's literally no risk to us. I could run him through the moment we walk through that door and feel no guilt.
Hey.
As best you're aware,
He says while trying to get Zachary alone, holding a
yeah,
sword.
I was wondering if anyone was going to leave the two of them going off on that. All right. So at the moment, you've retraced your steps. No other dangers have reemerged or emerged. You've found yourselves in the room at the top where the portal and the two boxes are. I just need to know if anyone else went with them before we go and deal with the loot room.
Nope. Fuck you.
I mean, Alia cannot get there under her own power at the moment. She is
Obliterated.
deep in the vodka, just alternating swigs of vodka and very strong whiskey,
Right.
and she's not moving anytime soon without assistance. Fokionis is fine. He's just charging through those pints like nothing else. They're not even touching the sides.
So did you say Alia is drunk?
Sorry, Ivy.
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 Okay.
Sorry, Ivy. Wrong.
Jeez,
wrong
they
one.
could have pushed me through if they wanted to. If I was drunk.
Well, so the three of you who are there, when you crest the top of those stairs, you see that the portal is there, but with only three of you in the room, there is a sheen, exactly the same sort of sheen that appears on the safe room door, but it's just a little bit more solid, a slightly different texture to it. And the two seats at the either end of the sarcophagus that's disappeared have opened up, and there is definitely items in there to be grabbed. And they have opened up as a result of the fight. What would you like to do?
I point to Zach and just say, "You got any idea of what is valuable?" Because
Can I do a sniff test?
Yes,
Take everything.
good.
Yep. Can you? You absolutely can do a sniff test. I think do you even get advantage on? Oh no, halfling, not raccoon.
No, technically, yeah. Technically, I don't have that kind of thing, but technically, I do as a raccoon.
do an investigation check for me. Just a straight investigation check with your sniffing, as you sniff around both of those crates.
14.
The nothing seems untoward with your 14 roll. One of the crates seems to have, it's almost like a mix of a smell of alcohol and oil, but not a dangerous smell. It's just sort of like a pleasant one, as if there's containers in there that have maybe held one or more of those things at some point, and maybe a little bit has leaked out into the chest. But other than that, nothing other than a bit of mustiness. Nothing is making your raccoon danger senses tingle.
Following
Is that just one chest or over both of them?
I gave you that for both of them. I figured you were sniffing at both of them. Would you want to look inside and see what you can see?
Following Zachary's advice, after saying we should just take it all, Rick will just open up his bag of holding and just start whatever's in there, just arm shoveling it out. If it's trash, if there's stuff mixed in, like valuable stuff mixed in with not valuable stuff, that's for the useless Hufflepuff back home to figure out. I'll just shovel everything into the bag.
All right. So just to, do you want to know what you're shoveling in there now, or would you like to drop it all on the table when you get back to the room?
Zachary?
We'll drop it all on the table and go through it then.
We'll go through it back in the room then, yeah.
Okay, so there is a bunch of different stuff. You're not paying any attention to it. You can definitely hear the clinging.
So got a few mixed chemicals together, boy.
And there's definitely some sloshing items. There sounds like for some of you more experienced people there that might be gemstones, maybe, but because everything has been shoved so quickly into the haversack on Rick's back, you don't get a decent look at it. And heading back to and this is we'll use this to wrap up. So heading back to the safe room, are you just upending it all, like basically pulling it all out onto the table? Because that's why I was asking. You're not looking to try.
I feel like you should answer this question very, very wisely.
I upend that.
This is the question for Yep. So essentially, I'm not going to get you to upend your entire rucksack because I know how much
upend all of it.
All right.
I want to see that.
I don't take the time to sort it out. I just everything.
So Rick upends his backpack and all sorts of shit comes flying out.
Water skin, 10 torches, a tinderbox, a small knife.
having paid really close attention, watching like a hawk and sniffing what Rick was doing as he was loading up his bag, as things come out that were from the boss room, Alia is just very deftly pulling it aside and stacking it up on the table beside where all the drinks are. Not on the table with the drinks, which is getting quite messy and sticky at this point with the revelry that's been happening while you guys were gone and clearing out the boss room. There's still been no announcement you've gotten used to from the dreaming, and also that the fight had started. You still haven't really received a formal completion notice, but you can sort of make an assumption that things seem to be pretty final, at least in that room, and what you've done so far. And what you pull out of there, and you can distribute these as you see fit. There is 1,125 silver pieces. So pile of silver currency. They're mixed in amongst that is 70 gold pieces. And there is then just a bag, a smaller bag that gets upended that was separate to the others that have just sort of been swept into there, is a bag of gems. And I will put in, there's actually 9 or 10 gems in the stack. And rather than read them all out, I'll actually drop that into the Discord so you guys can see the gems. But just for info, they're each worth about 10 gold each. And there's 9 of those gems, and you'll have a full list of them to divvy up. Don't need to go into that minutia right now because I'll be trying to tell you how to spell some of them. There's 2 health potions. You're familiar with these because you've sussed them out and you found them in the dungeon already. So those familiar red potions. Yeah.
Sorry, to clarify before I put them in notes. Health potions or healing potions, because they're different things.
Sorry. Healing potions. No, that's just me jotting down the wrong thing.
No,
Yeah,
that's okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Everything you have so far are healing potions. So those recovery potions. Thank you for that. So there's a further 2 of those. If you would like to, you're not sure exactly what kind. You don't even know if there are different kinds, but you can certainly find out that off Mort. There is a really strange looking jug that came out of those chests, and that was what Alia smelt when she just smelt that sort of strange mix of maybe a bit of alcohol, maybe a bit of oil. It's wrapped in got kind of a rope hemp bottom to it. It's got 2 handles on it. It's got a very sturdy stopper in the top, and it's a clay jug.
We're gonna get
that
so
seems
much
quite out
mayonnaise.
That seems a little bit out of place, but that is what you have so far from those chests. Gold, gems, some healing potions, or what appears to be healing potions from what you've seen already, and this strange jug.
What does Mort think of the jug?
So you hand it over to him, and Mort takes a big grin on his face, takes the jug in both hands. Oh, I haven't seen one of these in an age. I used to have one, and the bloody thing broke, and now I've got to buy my own alcohol. It's an alchemy jug. So let me get the exact info, and I'll link it to you because I don't remember it off the top of my head. So as described, a ceramic jug. And to give you the details, and I'm just going to read this straight off D&D Beyond, what Mort is doing from his memory. It can hold about 1 gallon of liquid, so around 4 liters for the Australians. It weighs 12 pounds, whether it's full or empty. And you can always hear it sloshing, even if it's empty. There's always that sloshing sound in the jug. In terms of use, you can use an action to name one liquid from the table, and I'll link it to you so you've got it. And you cause the jug to produce that chosen liquid. And that's things like acid, basic poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, and wine.
I would like to clarify. It will make 2 gallons of mayonnaise.
Per minute. Per minute. And then the maximum amount that it can produce depends on what you name. So mayonnaise, maximum that it can produce in an action is 2 gallons. And once it's started producing it, it can't produce a different one until it's reached that maximum or until the next dawn. So alchemy jug, I will let you each have a look at that and see what you can come up with on how you might like to use it. And like I said, there's coinage there for you to figure out how you'd like to divvy up. There's those gems that, again, I'll put in and drop for you so that you can you can suss it out. But Mort has one of the biggest smiles, apart from the smile he had when he was relieved to see you guys coming back through the door, not dead. This is probably the second biggest smile you've seen on his face. He is genuinely excited to see an alchemy jug and have one in his hands. And he reluctantly hands it back.
Yeah, I'll make sure one of us retrieves it from his grubby little hands.
And with that, unless there's any more questions or actions you guys would like to take, that's where we will leave it. Congratulations.
This next question, whoever asks the next question, whatever, I'm going to bed.
No worries. Good night. Sleep well.
Night, yo.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm assuming there's I'll let you guys think if you had any more post questions to ask. I'm going to find someone to raid out to with these lovely people who've hung out with us.
I don't have a question, but I have something to remind you guys of. So literally to clarify, I don't think it was last week, but I let you guys know a little while ago that I wouldn't be able to keep playing.
Yes.
And then it was either last week or the week before, I told you guys that at the end of November, I'd have to stop.
Yes. I remember.
This is my last session, guys.
They're changing your shifts.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? That's why you wanted Rick to die?
Wanted Rick to die. That's why I was so keen to like,
I thought that
do it. Come on, we can do this. It's okay. So I'll be free every now and again, but not consistent enough to play a regular character in the campaign. Is the problem.
Okay.
Like I don't know yet if I'm free next week, but I could be. It's just that my rosters are changed, so now I'll be having Saturday, Sunday off, and may or may not have to work Monday.
Right.
Some weeks I won't, some weeks I will. Especially coming into Christmas is more likely just will.
Work.
So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, I won't know until like Thursday or Friday if I can play on Mondays. So
okay. Well, I didn't actually save Rick because of you. I had that in place that as a tutorial level, it was always going to be. Actually, I'll do the raid because it was always going to be that way.
Yeah, I figured, but there was still that part of me that I was like, this is a great opportunity. Like, I don't want Rick to die, but this is kind of perfect right now. This is the exact situation I needed. And you had to go and be nice and a kind person. It
was always my plan going in that I wanted to do that with this because there was actually actually let me hit this raid. All right, thank you everyone who hung out with us all the way through tonight. It was great to have you here. Appreciate your company. Sorry that I couldn't chat to you more, but I will look back through the chat to see if there's anything I missed or questions I didn't answer. Hit up the YouTube, follow that. Bye. You'll see the after party after conversation on there, and hit us up with your questions on the YouTube. Sub to it. Peace out. Love you all. That video will be up this week. Bye, and thanks for hanging out. Go say good day to Goon for me.
Whose cat is that in the background?
That's my cat, Shax. He hasn't been getting attention, and now he's
letting you know.
He's letting you know.
He does that. He does that when I'm not so he's gotten used to when I come home of a night. So I usually get home from work at about 9 p.m. and he will, for the 30 minutes before I get home, just meow until I walk in the door. And then he's like, yep, I'm happy. Dad's home. Bye. And just go and ignore me. Because he's like, Dad should be home by now. Must be in distress. I'd best warn the mother. We have to protect him. Mount a rescue mission, mother. We don't know where he is. He's great.
Well, if let me know what's going on because I don't want to kill Rick off just yet.
Do it.
But I didn't keep him alive for any particular reason. It was whoever gotten swallowed was going to be in the same boat. That the party was just going to keep on stacking up in that safe room if required. Because there was also more things that you guys didn't trigger in that room as well. So I deliberately set it up that way for the tutorial and for the context of the story. I did that very deliberately. So yeah, it wasn't a Rick save. Or you rage quit on me. I'm not gonna care bear you guys through it that much.
We leveled up. Yeah, is that a thing that we?
You haven't actually completed this level yet, so you haven't reached the milestone. You are right on the precipice of your next milestone,
God
but no,
damn
you
it!
haven't.
I want to be able to cast Fireball before the sorcerer can.
So
Elemental Monk, level 4, baby.
next
We're
session.
level 2 at the moment, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're level 2. You guys are level 2
Cool,
at the
cool,
moment.
cool. Just
So
making
it
sure I
does.
didn't miss a level up.
We're going to spend 10 minutes the next session going to the portal and then the next half hour leveling up. Alright.
Yep.
I would strongly suggest to each of you that you give some consideration to what your level 3 might look like. Yes.
No, I'll work it out when it happens.
Hopefully
there-
it makes it 20.
you will certainly have the opportunity to do so.
Oh, I have to do this before we go as well. If any of you guys are looking for a new RPG to get into, like tabletop RPG, James, my brother, his uncle, just released a new RPG called Hard City. It's like a noir, dark detective RPG. It's very good. It'll be available in December if you guys are looking for a new RPG to play.
Okay.
Hard City by Nathan Russell. It looks very good. Hard City. He's been working
Is
on it
this
for about
digital
3 years.
or physical?
Physical and digital.
Okay.
I think you can pre-order it. So if you're looking for a new noir RPG, I looked at a few early versions of it like a year ago. Looks very good. But moving on, I just had to plug that very quickly for him. It's fun.
So is it just Mondays you're out? Or is it
well, like Monday through Friday at the moment, but Monday, the issue with Monday is that the reason I'm being moved on to is because the day that everyone else wants off. Everyone else, because I usually have Sunday, Monday off. Everyone else kind of wants that because they like the idea of having a day of the week off because they can get more done. And I ages ago told the boss, yeah, I'll work whatever 5 days of the week. I don't give a shit as long as they're all together. And she took that a year later and has gone, yeah, we'll move him to a normal weekend. And I was like, fuck. Goddamn. During daylight savings, it's not that big of a deal because I'll get home a little bit before the session starts. But when daylight savings ends, I won't be able to get home to make the session until about halfway through.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just let us know. Let me know what you want to do for next week, and then we can just play it on our.
I don't know what I want to do with Rick. I do have one idea, just a little suggestion. Glock 17, but maybe he just finds one somewhere. I'm not saying he's gonna kill himself. He's gonna murder Zachary and then walk off into the sunset a happy man. I'm joking. He's not gonna murder Zachary. He's gonna kill Mort.
What?
Fuck that
these
cowardly.
people do to you?
Zachary
It's like all
has
sentient life is precious.
Oh, okay.
Even if it's straight up attacks me.
Except Zachary
unless...
and Mort, and sometimes Fokionis, and
clarify. Anytime I make a joke about killing someone, it's Jay making that joke, not Rick. Rick would never kill. Maybe Mort. Rick doesn't trust Mort or know what he is. Rick doesn't believe any part of Mort's story. He has no part of him trusts Mort or wants to see Mort ever.
they're cool.
Stuff that nonsense. But yeah.
Jay, I put a link in the text chat on video. Is that the?
That is definitely not it. What is that? As a board game. What is that?
Terrible.
Is a miniatures board game for 1 to 5 players in which will take the role of brave officers of the Hard City Police Department. Face off against hordes of mutants controlled by the evil Dr. Zero. This sounds fucking sick. Never mind my family members thing. Get this. This looks fucking great. This is a banger. Lily, I have a new board game I want to get.
I am down with you getting more board games as long as you buy me chicken nuggies and some Fanta.
This looks great.
That seems like a pretty low stress deal.
Ah,
That does look pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. That does look fun.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I just found on Osprey Publishing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, Osprey Publishing are the ones doing it. I think you can only pre-order it at the moment, so.
That does
December...
look a bit more noirish. The previous one definitely was.
Definitely wasn't. I was just like, I don't know that this. You never know, but so I thought I'd check.
Yeah, it's a system designed more for like one shots than full campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you're designed to be able to like quickly create, like the DM puts together a story, you quickly create a character, and everyone's ready to go in like 10 minutes with their character, sort of thing. There's no like hard character creation, at least from when I played it. A lot of changes have been made since
So
then.
it's $17.50 on drive-through RPG, the RPG download
Yes.
store.
But yeah, if any of you are
Hmm.
interested, no pressure. But if you were ever curious, I dare say I'm going to pick it up. So I dare say I'll just end up sharing the PDF with anyone who wants it anyway, as I always
I'll have a
do
look.
with all of my Google Drives on various accounts. I checked, equaling a total of 17 terabytes.
Is that all?
Oh, that's a
that's-
fair swag.
17 terabytes of PDFs of RPG games.
Okay, yeah, that's a different context.
Is that like everyone ever in the world and some
So-
future ones that
What
you
happened?
got from the Illuminati?
Egg
Fucking
might
hell,
remember.
dude.
Egg, do you remember Remer's RPG archive that then became the Trove?
I've heard of the Trove.
Yeah.
So the Trove, which is the RPG archive, which was up for a while, started as Remer's. It was like a random old directory that was really obscure. But as it got more popular, it became the Trove to cater to a wider audience. And then like a couple of weeks after it became the Trove, it got shut the fuck down because of copyright. Because it was just a place where you could go and download thousands and thousands of RPG PDFs just for free. Like you pretty much get everything Wizards has done ever, just in terms of D&D from first edition, like all the way back in first edition when it was TSR, all the way up until like a year or two ago. So it basically got yanked out of the air, but someone put together a private like directory with all of that info that they'd saved from when it was still Remer's. So I've been slowly going through and backing it all up onto Google Drive so that when that inevitably gets taken down, I still have access to all of it.
Nice.
And yeah, I think total it's just over 100 terabytes of data. So I'm just getting the stuff that I actively want and will use off of it, which is a lot of space, and I need to buy a new hard drive or two for this so that I can actually get physical copies, because I don't trust Google to fucking cross the road safely, let alone with my data.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you got the cloud and then the non-cloud and then the non-cloud in case that hard drive dies, and yep. The never-ending cycle.
Backups on backups on backups on backups.
Yeah.
Because
Hey, that was really fun.
that was good.
I'm glad
Solid work, you
I'm
guys.
glad that went well.
You guys did great after Rick died. I think Rick's holding this team back, not gonna lie. We were getting our asses kicked, and then the moment Rick died, you guys were like, awesome, he's gone. Let's get busy.
Let's get some shit.
Yeah, well,
Awesome, we got rid of the boomer.
The shots started hitting. If you do need to retire Rick or have him come in and out, just let me know. I've got at least one idea on how he can come in and out a couple of times.
Mhm.
But after a couple, we're probably going to need to look at
Yeah.
suss out, because daylight savings has still got a long way to go yet if you are going to play through daylight savings, and the campaign may well be over by then as well.
So I can get home while daylight savings is on if I leave work when I knock off, but I rarely get to leave work when if I finish at X o'clock on a shift, it's rare that I get to leave work at X o'clock as opposed to an hour after or 30 minutes after.
I
So
know what you mean.
if I play will just depend on when I walk in the door. Am I going straight to fucking bed, or do I have the energy for this?
Yep, I
That's part
understand.
of the problem, is because that could be like, yep, I'm in, and then get home from work and be like, nope, I'm gonna lay on the ground, stare at the roof, and consider all my decisions. I'm gonna start googling how easy it is to kill coworkers and get away with it, because
Do it through your VPN, Jesus Christ.
I want.
Mind you, we've just put it on a recording that's going to go on YouTube,
Yeah.
so just don't do it at all.
Hey, what does YouTube TOS say about me threatening to kill coworkers? What are they?
Sarcasm.
How does Sure,
parody.
we'll go. Yeah, definitely.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's all good. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, move along.
Hey, while we're here hanging out, hey, Raid Shadow Legends sponsor this guy. He's great. I've seen some of the crap content you guys sponsor. You can give him some dollars.
I've done the Raid Shadow Legends sponsored stream. They came
guys
through
have
on
got,
paid.
You guys have got like infinite money, right? Just throw some of it his way. He's cool.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
There's two companies in
to
the world
guy.
that have infinite money, right? You got Raid Shadow Legends and Disney. That's it. They have
That's
infinite money. Yeah.
That's all of the monies.
Disney and Raid Shadow Legends, when the world ends, that's all that'll be left. Is those two companies.
I still play that game from time to time.
Everyone thinks Musk's going to Mars. Nah, mate. Raid.
Raid Shadow Legends. They're gonna
Raid for President 2024.
Oh, maybe a better option.
Given some of the people who have announced that they're running in 2024, that country's fucked.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting times ahead.
Who knows? Maybe we might get Dynasty in Australia after all.
Yeah, you might just need a GTFO.
Yep.
Maybe Malta. How's the Australian office going? What have we got there?
I keep looking away from my webcam and down at my screen, and every time I do, Egg is like locking eyes with me, and
it's because he's staring you down and saying, "Don't go, Jay."
I don't know why, but every time I look into his eyes, I feel genuinely nervous for some reason. Like it's making me genuinely worried. Like, am I disappointed him? What did I do? I'm sorry. Are you okay? Oh no! What have I done? Right.
You're
all right. Well, just keep me posted, Jay. And as far as we're working on that, you will likely be here next week.
Next week, I will. At the very worst case scenario, I'll be using one of my 2 sick days that I have left for the year.
Okay, I hope you don't need to do that.
Oh no, I'm not going to get sick for the rest of the year. Fuck that nonsense. And even if I do, I'll just show up to work anyway. No one's going to cover for me.
Fair enough. Maybe you can access some bonus.
My co-workers are selfish assholes. Even if I am sick, it ain't going to do nothing. So,
right.
Whatever.
All right. Well, on that note, I need to wrap up and pack all this away and try and turn the brain off and sleep before having to be a functional adult tomorrow morning.
Fair.
But that was really fun. You guys did really well with a few curly ones, and it was fun to make a few tweaks to some different monsters and do things a little bit differently, like the Iron Maiden animated armor. I enjoyed that.
It was scary.
That was when they first came alive. I was like, oh, it's just a couple of animated armors, and I was like, could have sworn animated armors have lower armor class, but no, I'm not remembering that right. And then you were like, oh, it stomps on your feet. I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. Oh, it's also an Iron Maiden. Oh, well, fuck, I guess. Just fuck me. I die now.
I didn't mess around with the armor, so that was just what imported across. I found a really cool Patreon. I've supported him on Patreon to let me pull all the books from that are shared with us in our shared campaign into Foundry. So there's a guy. He's basically he won't mess with the content, so he won't actually supply the content to anyone. But if you've already got access to the content, it uses D&D Beyond's API that's already built, and it lets you port it across into Foundry while you've got the access to the content. So if your mate kicked me out, I'd lose access to it.
I don't know what is up with Foundry, but like according to it, I have like saving throws in Charisma. I've got like 20 Constitution and like 8 Dexterity. Like I don't know. Like I was looking at like other than my health, every piece of information on my thing is for a different character that isn't Rick. I was so confused. Yeah, it was completely wrong, and I don't know why. So I don't know if it just has to be reset or if like
I won't resync anything until I've been holding off doing, like I said to you, this update before, like until we got out of this dungeon. So now that we've got this done and there's no legacy kind of carryover things that I want Foundry to keep track of, I'm going to do all the updates. So that even if it breaks, all I got to do is resynchronize all your characters. It won't be a big deal. So maybe that's part of it too. It might not be because I've got an outdated version of Foundry, and the Foundry apps, or the apps I'm using, they may not be syncing properly.
Yeah, no, that's all good. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, it happens.
But D&D Beyond will remain our point of truth until we're confident. Because I got that Patreon, I can actually sync back the other way as well. But I don't want to fuck anyone's D&D Beyond up. I'd rather keep that as the point of truth.
So I only figured out tonight where to even find my character in Foundry.
Right.
I think mine could have had, and like what could have had an issue is the fact that I had already edited and filled in a decent chunk of my character sheet before D&D Beyond got involved.
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably
everything.
part of it, because you were the only one who'd gone and like decked out your character in Foundry.
Oh, that could be.
That might be it, maybe.
Handy, but I don't know. Otherwise, yeah,
it was a good idea because at that point I wasn't going to manually create them, and I didn't have a solution. And when I finally found this, and it was like $6 a month, I'm like, yeah, I'll sling. While we're doing this campaign, I'll sling on mate $6 a month for his Patreon to use that service. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't need like 90% of the D&D Beyond stuff in Foundry, just like health and the basic stats to quickly reference because I have D&D Beyond open anyway. So like.
Yeah, but I'll update it all, and I'm going to close that down now actually, and sync them all up before next Monday night. And I'll chat with you. You cannot do it publicly. We can do it in PMs, but I'll chat with you between now and then, and just make a decision on short term, long term, what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, all good. We'll figure it out.
I am glad that I didn't try and change anything for Rick to die when it wasn't part of the story, because I think that would have felt. I know you didn't want it to go the way it did, but it would have felt really disingenuous to me, at least, to have it all mapped out one way and then decide that he's going to be dead.
You're the DM. You make up the rules as you go.
Trying to plan it out as best I can. I need to go and tick some boxes in my OneNote now.
I'm going to go and remember that there's another season of Titans I need to watch at some point. Somehow that show is still going.
I think I'm going to go and try and sleep.
I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
I hope we can keep playing with you, Jay.
I hope so.
Yeah. I haven't killed Zach yet. I've got to at least...
Gonna try.
I'll at least get to that point, yeah.
You don't have to make that kind of remarks. We know you mean you love Zach. He's your favorite. Like, be honest.
Rick is willing to work with everyone in the team in order to never see them again one day. This is current thinking. He is willing to work with the rest of the party if it means one day he'll never have to interact with them again.
Rick's got to do Rick.
In that case, they'll have to work together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
All right.
We'll get through it.
I will see you lovely folks next Monday, and then fingers crossed for everything continuing to go well after that.
Yeah, I'll see you on next Monday. Have fun.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Peace out.
Bye all.
See ya.